Greetings of the day to all of you. I welcome all of you to another lecture. Today we are going to discuss some practical aspects of compensator when it is used as a voltage regulator. So I'll write here practical aspects of compensator. When I say compensator, I mean shunt compensator as a voltage regulator. It may be a passive shunt compensator like a capacitor bank, or it may be active compensator like a D-STATCOM, which is of course custom power device. So I have discussed in last lecture and in fact in last couple of lectures that when we use a shunt compensator as a voltage regulator, the compensator injects the reactive power into the system. It compensates all the load reactive power, and it also makes some small amount of reactive power to flow towards the source side, so that the current drawn from source, that's the source current, is at leading power factor. And it is only at leading power factor, when the source current is at leading power factor, we get zero voltage regulation. I have explained it using a mathematical analysis, and very well I have tried to explain it very well with the help of phasor diagram. But the question is, will your compensator be able to make zero voltage regulation, make load bus voltage exactly equal to source bus voltage? For that purpose, it may have to inject a large amount of reactive power and a variable reactive power depending upon the load reactive power. Load reactive power may be varying in nature, so it has to be dynamic in nature with changes or variations in the load reactive power. It has also to adjust its injected reactive power. Now, theoretically, it seems that when we connect a shunt compensator and make it operate as a voltage regulator for zero voltage regulation, there should not be any problem as far as practical use of this compensator as a voltage regulator is concerned. But that is not the case. Practically, when you implement a shunt compensator, say a D-STATCOM, as a voltage regulator for obtaining zero voltage regulation, you face some difficulties. You may not get 100% compensation, or you may not get exactly zero voltage regulation. So some practical aspect regarding that I'm going to discuss in this lecture. Now, compensator gain plays a very important role. And how do you define compensator gain? If I write here a term called compensator gain, K gamma, this compensator gain is defined as a rate of change of compensator reactive power with change in voltage. So mathematically, I write this compensator gain K gamma equal to dQ gamma by dV. I mean, if your load bus voltage is varying, with varying load bus voltage, the compensator reactive power should also vary. So the ratio of change in injected reactive power by compensator to change in the voltage, that is called compensator gain. That's what I have defined. I have defined it as the rate of change of injected reactive power with change in the bus voltage. So mathematically it is given by this equation. So I can also write, if I write this delta V, I represent it by delta V, it is Q gamma by K gamma. In terms of injected reactive power, it is Q gamma by K gamma. Let me call this as equation 1. Now let us assume that compensator characteristics are linear. That means with change in the voltage, the injected reactive power also changes linearly. Okay, let us assume linear relationship between Q gamma and V, and with the assumption that injected reactive power is less than or equal to Q gamma max limit. Okay, suppose this is the maximum limit for which you have designed your compensator. So this should be at least equal to Q gamma max. So assumption is that the compensator characteristics are linear with this limit, that's q gamma less than or equal to q gamma maximum limit. Voltage can be written as, therefore, voltage due to compensator, voltage after compensator, compensation, it is equal to rated voltage VQ plus delta V. What is delta V? Delta V is the change in voltage because of injected reactive power of the compensator, or V can be written as equal to Vk plus Q gamma by K gamma. Okay, so from this we will get Q gamma by K gamma equal to V minus Vk. That will give us a mathematical expression for injected reactive power Q gamma, which is K gamma times V minus Vk. Let us call this equation as equation 2. This is a very important equation, and it tells you that how much reactive power compensator has to inject. It has to inject a reactive power which is given by difference between these two voltages. If your bus voltage is not equal to rated voltage, Vk is the rated voltage, then that difference between the two voltages multiplied by gain of the compensator, that will determine how much reactive power the compensator has to inject to make V exactly equal to Vk. Okay, so from this equation also, I have written here V is equal to Vk plus Q gamma by K gamma. If I want to make V exactly equal to Vk, I mean bus voltage equal to rated voltage, then what should be K gamma, gain of the compensator? It should be infinite. Only when K gamma is infinite, this by this becomes 0 and V becomes equal to Vk. Now, what does, this is mathematically K gamma should be infinite, but physically what does it mean? It means that your compensator should be able to inject or absorb any amount of reactive power as per the demand to make V equal to Vk, and that is possible only when gain of the compensator is infinite. Okay, so this is our equation 1, this is our equation 2. Let us write one more equation of this bus voltage, which we have derived in last lecture. V is equal to E times 1 minus Qs by SSC. In terms of short circuit power, apparent power, SSC, V is given by this equation also. Let us call this equation as equation 3. Let me show you a very important plot. This is the injected reactive power, Q gamma. And let me show you how this bus voltage varies with injected reactive power. The aim is to maintain this bus voltage constant at Vk. Vk is the rated voltage, bus voltage, and it is equal to E. The aim is to make this V equal to E, and rated voltage is Vk. Okay, but this equation tells you that as the reactive power demand of the load increases, okay, this is actually QL, and QL is same as QS. I mean, without compensation, if you are not providing any compensation, the reactive power demand of the load is same as the reactive power supplied by the source. And this equation tells you that as the reactive power demanded by the load increases, the voltage decreases. It does not remain equal to Vk. It has a drooping characteristic, which I have discussed in last lecture also. So this line gives you V approximately equal to E times 1 minus Qs by SSC. So this line represents this equation. But our aim using the shunt compensator is to maintain this voltage constant at Vk so that we achieve zero voltage regulation. So for that purpose, we already know that V is equal to Vk plus Q gamma by K gamma. So what should your compensator do? It should inject the reactive power Q gamma into the system, which will compensate not only load reactive power, but will also inject some reactive power into the supply system also, making supply current or source current leading in nature, which will make V equal to E or V equal to Vk, rated voltage, and it will maintain it constant at rated voltage. So with this compensator, your characteristic will be like this. This is the characteristic V equal to Vk plus Q gamma by K gamma. Load reactive power makes the load voltage characteristic drooping in nature, and in presence of compensator the characteristic is like this. So therefore at any instant of point, let us consider this point. This is the drop in the voltage delta V because of reactive power which is flowing due to the load reactive power demand. And this has to be nullified by compensator. What compensator does? It increases the voltage by delta V dash. So this delta V dash becomes exactly equal to delta V. So whatever was the drop in the voltage because of reactive power, that drop in the voltage is compensated by the compensator. So this delta V dash is exactly equal to minus delta V, and it makes load voltage constant. Same is true with all the points. So therefore, as you move towards this, okay, so as the load reactive power increases, what your compensator does, it goes on injecting more and more reactive power, and hence to nullify or cancel the effect of drooping characteristic, it tries to make the characteristic like this, and this characteristic plus this characteristic gives you the absolutely constant load bus voltage Vk. Okay, so therefore as the load reactive power demand increases, to take care of that increased load reactive power, your compensator injects more and more reactive power Q gamma, and it keeps the load voltage absolutely constant. Now let us try to find out voltage sensitivity of we already have this equation 2. We have written it E times 1 minus Qs by SSC. This was equation 2 already written. So differentiating equation 2, I will write here differentiating equation 2 with respect to Qs, will get voltage sensitivity without compensator. So without compensator, voltage sensitivity is dV by dQs equal to, it will be minus E by SSC, because differentiation with respect to Qs, that will become 1, and E is already there, and differentiation of 1 is 0, so it will be minus E by SSC. Let us call this equation as equation 4. Okay, so further I will write this equation again, V equal to E times 1 minus Qs by SSC, and we know that this, what is Qs equal to? Qs is equal to QL plus Q gamma. So, and what is Q gamma equal to? From equation 1, Q gamma is equal to K gamma times V minus Vk. So substituting in this equation, we'll get a new equation. So therefore, we will get load bus voltage approximately equal to E times 1 minus Qs. Qs is QL plus Q gamma. So it is QL plus Q gamma, but Q gamma is K gamma. It is K gamma times V minus Vk, okay, divided by SSC. So we can further simplify it. Simplification and arrangement of terms will give us V approximately equal to E times, if I take E outside, I will get 1 plus K gamma Vk by SSC by 1 plus E times K gamma by SSC minus QL, that is load reactive power, which is this QL by SSC divided by 1 plus E into K gamma by SSC. I mean, if you solve this equation and simplify it, it becomes like this. Let us call this equation as equation 5. So therefore, this equation tells us that the bus voltage in terms of short circuit power and in terms of compensator gain K gamma is given by this. Okay, let us differentiate this equation with respect to QL. Differentiating equation 5 with respect to QL, that will give us voltage sensitivity now in presence of compensator. Just few moments back we found voltage sensitivity to be dV by dQ equal to minus E by SSC. But that was voltage sensitivity of the system without compensator. And if I differentiate this equation 5 with respect to Q, with respect to Q, it will give us, or with respect to QL, it will give us voltage sensitivity in presence of compensator. So therefore voltage sensitivity will be dV by dQL. We have to differentiate it with respect to QL. So first term will become equal to 0 because it is constant term, there is no QL here. And in the second term we will get E is there, so it is minus E by SSC divided by 1 plus E 1 plus K gamma E by SSC. So this is the voltage sensitivity equation. I call this equation as equation 6. Okay. Moving ahead, now what we can do, I can again write this voltage V equal to E times 1 minus QL plus Q gamma by SSC. Okay. And we also know Q gamma is equal to K gamma times V minus Vk. Now V is this. If I substitute this V into this equation, I will get a new equation. So therefore Q gamma is equal to K gamma times V minus Vk. It's K gamma times V. V is this, E into 1 minus QL plus Q gamma by SSC minus Vk. Simplify this, what we will get? We will get Q gamma equal to minus times. If I simplify it and arrange the terms, I will finally get this equation. It is Q gamma equal to K gamma divided by 1 plus K gamma into E by SSC times E into 1 minus QL by SSC minus Vk. Okay, this is let us call this as equation 6. Now let us put Vk equal to E, because what is our aim? Our aim is to make your load bus voltage equal to Vk, and this Vk should be same as source voltage, so that percentage voltage regulation is equal to 0, because V is equal to Vk or V is equal to E, so voltage regulation is 0 because V minus E becomes 0. So that gives you 0 voltage regulation. In this equation, put Vk equal to E in equation 6. We'll get a new equation, and let me write that equation. That's a very important equation. So I will get Q gamma equal to minus times K gamma, putting Vk equal to E and simplifying, so K gamma, it will be Q gamma is equal to minus K gamma into E by SSC divided by 1 plus K gamma times E by SSC into QL. So this is equation 7, and this is a very, very important equation. It gives the relationship between load reactive power and reactive power injected by the compensator. Okay. So if compensator, this equation also tells you that for compensator gain to be infinity, if compensator gain is infinity, so this will be infinity here. So your Q gamma will be equal to QL minus QL. That means whatever is the reactive power demand of the load, that whole reactive power demand will be supplied by the compensator. So compensator will fulfill all the reactive power demand of the load, and it will make voltage regulation equal to 0, or it will give you 0 voltage regulation. But for that purpose, the gain of the compensator as per this equation has to be infinite. And what does infinite gain, compensator gain means? What does it mean? It means large rating of compensator is required. Large rating of compensator is required. You need a compensator, but the rating of the compensator will be very, very large, and it may be extremely large, high rating compensator. It may become economically, difficult to put a very large, high power rating compensator to, give you zero voltage regulation. Okay. So therefore, practically, when you put a compensator, a shunt compensator in zero voltage as a voltage regulator to give zero voltage regulation, you never go for infinite gain. You go for a finite gain. Maybe gain is 100, maybe, K gamma is 100, you may go for 200, you may go for 250. If you go for very high gain, as the gain of the compensator increases, the size and the rating of the compensator also increases, the cost will not allow you to go for very high gain. And when you cannot go for very high gain, you may go for a gain of 50, a gain of 100 or 200 or so. You compensator will not be able to, compensate all the reactive power, and therefore it will not make load bus voltage equal to system voltage or source voltage. Load bus voltage will be slightly less than system voltage. So it will not give you exactly zero voltage regulation, but it will give you load voltage or load bus voltage which is very, very near to system voltage. Now this will be clear with the help of a numerical problem. Let us try to solve a numerical example. Here is the example. It's saying consider a three-phase system with line-to-line voltage of 11 kV and short circuit capacity of 480 MVA with compensator gain of 100 per unit. Determine voltage sensitivity with and without compensator. For each case, if the load reactive power changes by 10 megawatts, find out the change in load bus voltage assuming linear relationship between V and Q, that is VQ characteristics are linear. Also find the relationship between compensator and load reactive power. This is a very interesting problem. It tells us we have a three-phase system. Let me write the data here. We have a three-phase system, line-to-line voltages. V line is 11 kV. So what will be line to phase voltage? Because these equations, whatever equations you have derived, they are all based on phase quantities, not line quantities. So phase voltage, the phase source voltage will be line voltage by root 3. So 11 by root 3 means it is 6.35 kV. So this is the phase voltage. Okay. The short circuit capacity is 480 MVA, but it is 480 MVA three phase. So therefore, what is per phase short circuit capacity? 480 by 3 for one phase. So it is 160 MVA. Okay. Compensator gain is also given. It is 100 per unit. K gamma is 100. It is given in the problem. So it is not infinite. It is 100. As I was telling you that you have to design the compensator with a finite gain. Because if you go for very high gain, the rating size and the cost of compensator will be very high. So you have to stop somewhere. In this problem, we are told that the compensator is designed for a gain of 100. Determine voltage sensitivity with and without compensator. So first of all, we will go for without compensation and find voltage sensitivity. Let us go for without compensator or without compensation. Without compensation, K gamma is equal to 0 because there is no compensator. So gain is 0. E is, I have already calculated that, 6.35 kV. Short circuit power is 160 MVA per phase. It's already calculated by us. Therefore, what is voltage sensitivity? Voltage sensitivity means change in voltage with change in reactive power of the load. It is given by the equation. Just few moments back we derived, I gave you one equation. It is given by minus equation number 5 or 6 minus E by SSC divided by 1 plus K gamma E by SSC. Okay, this is the equation for voltage sensitivity. So since K gamma is 0, so this term is gone. So therefore, your dV by dQL voltage sensitivity is minus E by SSC. That is equal to minus E is 6.35 kV okay, by SSC. What is SSC? 160. So this will give you voltage sensitivity of system without compensator. So therefore voltage sensitivity is dV by dQL, it is minus 6.35 by 160, and as per my calculations that comes out to be minus 0.039 kilovolts per megawatt. This is the voltage sensitivity. So therefore what is change in the voltage? So in the problem they say that the load reactive power changes by 10 megawatts. I mean, if right now your load reactive power is 5 megawatts, it increases by 10. So 10 plus 5 is 15. Okay, so there is a change in the reactive powers. That means dQL is 10 megawatts. So therefore what is change in voltage? Delta V, that is equal to this minus 0.039 into delta QL, that is equal to minus 0.039, and change in the reactive power is 10 megawatts. So therefore change in the voltage is minus 0.39 kilovolt. That means when reactive power increases by 10 megawatts, your voltage changes or voltage drops by minus 0.39 kilovolt without compensator. Let us see what happens with compensator. Now with compensator, let's try to find out voltage sensitivity and change in voltage with compensator. With compensator, again we will use the same equation. Voltage sensitivity with compensator is given by minus times E by SSC divided by 1 plus K gamma E by SSC, right? And it comes out to be, what is E? E we have already found, it is minus times, E is 6.35 kV by SSC. SSC is 160 megawatts divided by 1 plus, what is gain of the compensator? It is 100. 100 into E is 6.35 by 160. So when you calculate this comes out to be, voltage sensitivity comes out to be, as per my calculations, this is minus 0.0078 kilovolt per kilowatt per megawatt. It's very small. So therefore what is change in voltage? Change in voltage is minus 0.0078 into change in the reactive power. That is minus 0.0078, and change in reactive power as per the problem is 10 megawatts. So therefore change in voltage is minus 0.078 kilovolt. So it is very small. Without compensator, the voltage was changing by minus 0.39 kilovolt. And with compensator, it is changing by very small amount, minus 0.078 kilovolt. It is not even 0.01 kilovolt. So it is very nearly equal to 0. Okay, so that is voltage sensitivity. What else we have to find? We are also asked to find out, find the relationship between compensator and load reactive power. What is the relationship between compensator reactive power and load reactive power? That is given by equation number 7 that just few moments back we have derived. Q gamma equal to minus K gamma into E by SSC divided by 1 plus K gamma into E by SSC into QL. So therefore Q gamma is equal to minus K gamma is 100. Okay, what is E? E is 6.35 by SSC is 160 divided by 1 plus K gamma 100 into 6.35 by 160. If you find it out into QL, QL is load reactive power. So relationship between compensator injected power and load reactive power, as per this equation, it comes out to be minus 0.79 QL. Q gamma is minus 0.79 QL. What does this mean? This is very interesting result. This means, if you want zero voltage regulation, then your compensator should compensate all the load reactive power. And not only that, it should inject some small reactive power into the supply system also to make source current leading the voltage and give zero voltage regulation. but at least it should compensate all the load reactive power. But as per this numerical problem, with a compensator gain of only 100, it does not compensate entire load reactive power. If it would have compensated entire load reactive power, then Q gamma would have come out to be minus QL, but it is not minus QL, it is minus 0.79 QL. So it compensates 79% of load reactive power only. What is change in load reactive power? 10 megawatts. It's in the problem it is said that load reactive power increases by 10 megawatts. So therefore for that, Q gamma is equal to minus 0.79 into 10. So Q gamma is equal to minus 7.9 megawatts only. That means अगर आपका load reactive power demand 10 megawatt बढ़ती है, your compensator does not compensate the entire 10 megawatts. It does not inject the entire 10 megawatts. It is able to inject only minus 7.9 megawatts. So 2.1 megawatts less than what is required. Okay. So if you wish that this Q gamma, that is the reactive power injected by compensator, should be exactly equal to reactive power increment in the load or reactive power demand of the load, that is 10 megawatts in this case, not 7.9 megawatts, but exactly 10 megawatts, then compensator gain Q gamma has to be infinite. If compensator gain is infinite, say for example it is 2000, it is 3000, then you can achieve Q gamma equal to QL. It will be exactly minus 10 megawatts, and you may achieve almost zero voltage regulation. But what will be the size and rating of the compensator? The size and rating of compensator will be very high. It will be very large. It will be a huge, bulky compensator, and its cost will be very high, and it may not be economically viable. So this is the practical aspect which is generally not given in the books. It's not taught in the books. In the books, you are satisfied, you are told that you can use a shunt compensator, say a D-STATCOM for zero voltage regulation, but practically when you use that, you can never achieve almost zero voltage regulation for a finite gain of the compensator. If the compensator is designed for finite gain, your compensator may partially, compensate the load reactive power, and the load bus voltage will still remain less than the source voltage. You may not get zero voltage regulation. Maybe it is very close to E, but you may not exactly get zero voltage regulation. For getting zero voltage regulation, the compensator should compensate at least all the load reactive power demand. And for that purpose, the gain of the compensator has to be extremely large, which makes the compensator large in size, large in rating, and high, expensive. So therefore, when we practically implement this compensator for load compensation as a zero voltage regulator, we design it for finite gain, not for infinite gain, given the size, rating, and cost of the compensator, and it partially, compensates the load reactive power, but we still get satisfactory results. It may compensate 70, 80, or 90% of load reactive power. That gives V less than E, but V becomes near to E. I mean, it is less than E, but very close to E. So we are satisfied with that voltage regulation. So this ends our discussions on fundamental theory of load compensation. Summarizing what we have learned over last 3 lectures, we have over last 3 to 4 lectures, we have studied why do we need to compensate load. We need to compensate load for poor power factor, that's reactive power compensation, and also for unbalance, also for harmonics, also for voltage regulation. We have not taken unbalance and harmonics, etc. We have not considered that as yet, because unbalance we will consider for 3-phase systems, and harmonics compensation also we will consider in future classes. We have taken 2 cases. We have compensated the load for poor power factor, that is reactive power compensation, and also for zero voltage regulation to make the load bus voltage equal to source bus voltage. And we had a series of lectures, about 4 lectures. And in first lecture we discussed how we can use the shunt compensator for load compensation for power factor correction for unity power factor operation or for reactive power compensation. And in the subsequent three lectures, we have studied how we can use compensator for voltage regulation. And with the help of phasor diagrams and mathematical analysis, we have studied how we can use the same compensator for zero voltage regulation as a voltage regulator. We have tried to understand the concepts with the help of phasor diagrams and some numerical examples. In today's lecture, we have taken a practical aspect of a compensator, a shunt compensator as a voltage regulator, and we have seen that with finite gain of the compensator, we may not exactly achieve zero voltage regulation because compensator may not be able to compensate the entire load reactive power. That is the practical aspect of it. Let me summarize what we have learned over last 4 lectures with the help of phasor diagrams. We were discussing load compensation using shunt compensator, which may be a capacitor bank or a D-STATCOM. Load compensation. I will brush up your memories. I will summarize everything with the help of all the phasor diagrams which we have been drawing over last 3 to 4 lectures. First of all, we will take a case. I will give you the review of various phasor diagrams that we have drawn. Phasor diagrams. First of all, we will go for without compensation, no compensation. That means this is your system. This is the supply bus voltage V. This is feeder impedance or source impedance Z is equal to RS plus JXS. This is the load bus with load bus voltage V, and this is the load. It may be a reactive load drawing a load current IL at a power factor angle phi L, and this is the source current. In this case, we are not going for any compensation, so therefore source current is same as load current. Okay. Now without compensation, first of all, I will take with excess only. Let us assume that feeder resistance is negligibly small, only reactance is taken into account. With source reactance or line reactance or feeder reactance only, with excess only. So the phasor diagram will be like this. This is voltage phasor, load voltage phasor. We'll take it as a reference. You can take supply voltage phasor E also as a reference. Choice is yours, no problem. Here I am taking load voltage phasor as a reference. Current is IL, load current is IL, load draws a current IL, and this current lags behind the load voltage by a phase angle phi. Okay, and therefore there is I into R drop. IL is same as IS, source current, because there is no compensation. Whatever current is drawn by the load, that is same as source current. IS is equal to IL. So I have written here IL, which is same as IS. Since load resistance is, this feeder resistance is neglected, we consider only reactance. And when this source current, which is same as load current, when it flows through the reactance, it results in reactive voltage drop IS into XS or IL into XS, which is at 90 degrees to load current. If this is load current, the voltage drop through the feeder reactance will be JIL into XS or JIS into XS. Okay, and that will give us source voltage E. And what is this E? It is V plus JIL XS. And you can see in this case, E is much greater than V, or in other words, load bus voltage is less than source bus voltage. So this gives poor voltage regulation. Not only poor voltage regulation, it also gives poor power factor, because load current lags behind the voltage by certain phase angle. So what is power factor? Or load power factor is same as source power factor. It is cos phi, and it is in this case lagging. Like in previous example yesterday in last lecture, which we solved one of the problems where load active power was 50 megawatts and load was drawing a reactive power, maximum reactive power of 50 megawatts. If you remember, we calculated the power factor, load power factor, which is same as source power factor, cos phi. That was only 0.44 something, 0.44, a very poor power factor. So in this case, because of poor power factor, a large reactive power is flowing, and because of flow of large reactive power, large voltage drop through system reactance is there, and that causes V to be less than E, poor voltage regulation. And also, since current is very large, because of flow of large reactive power, current is large, there will be more losses in the line in the system. Okay, this can also be, this phasor diagram can also be drawn if you say, let me draw it again. This is load bus voltage V, this is load current IL at a phase angle of phi. Now, in this case, this load current has two components. It has in phase component, IR, which is in phase with the load bus voltage and which represents the active load, active power drawn by the load. And it has quadrature component also, JIX, which represents the reactive power drawn by the load. Okay. Now, this IX, that is a reactive component of load current, when it flows through the system reactance XS, it causes the reactive voltage drop IX into XS, which is at 90 degrees to this. See, this is your JIX. So this will be IX into XS. It is the, because of this current IX through the system reactance, there is a voltage drop, and this voltage drop is at 90 degrees. It's leading current by 90 degrees, because in a purely inductive circuit we know that current lags voltage by 90 degrees or voltage leads current by 90 degrees. So therefore, if this is your voltage phasor, this is IX, this will be your IX into XS voltage drop, this is IX, and this is IX into XS voltage drop. It's at 90 degrees to this. So this is your in phase component of the voltage drop, delta VR. So this is the voltage drop through in the system reactance because of the flow of reactive component of current. So in addition to reactive component of current, there is in phase component of current also flowing. That will also, when that will flow through the system reactance, that will also result in the voltage drop. That means if this is your IR, it will result in a voltage drop IR, JIR into XS. This voltage drop is also at 90 degrees with respect to the current, because this voltage drop is through the system reactance. So therefore, there will be another voltage drop, JIR into XS, which is also delta Vx, that is quadrature component of the voltage drop. This is delta VR, this is delta Vx. This is voltage drop due to in phase voltage drop, you can say. This is quadrature voltage drop. Okay, this voltage drop is because of reactive component of current, which represents the reactive power, and this voltage drop is because of the real component of current or in phase component of current, which represents the active power. So what is delta VR plus delta Vx? Delta VR plus delta Vx is nothing but voltage drop delta V. So therefore, this will be your E. E is leading V by delta power angle. So therefore, if this is V, this is E. So what is E? E is V plus delta V, or it is V plus IX XS plus JIR XS, or it is V plus delta VR plus delta Vx. So therefore, E is equal to V plus delta V. This is your delta V. This is delta V. And you can see E is greater than V, and power factor is also very poor. So therefore, this is without compensation but with excess only. Let us now take a practical case where both excess as well as RS have to be taken into account. We cannot ignore RS, that is feeder resistance. Now we will go for feeder resistance with both XS and RS. दोनों आप हम consider करेंगे. So this is load bus voltage V. This is line current, load current IL. Okay. Now, when this load current, this is same as source current, when this flows through the resistive part of the impedance, it causes resistive voltage drop, that is IL into RS or IS into RS, and when it flows through the reactive component, reactive part of the impedance, it causes reactive voltage drop, that is JIS or IL into XS. Okay, and therefore this is your E. Now again you can see E is greater than V, a power factor is poor. This is मैंने यहाँ पे IL को in phase or quadrature components में I have not divided or I have not decomposed it into quadrature and in phase components. I have IL is same as IS, so I can directly find resistive voltage drop and reactive voltage drop, and this is the source voltage. So this is load voltage, this is source voltage. So source voltage is load voltage is source voltage minus this drop, or source voltage is load voltage plus resistive voltage drop plus reactive voltage drop. अगर मैं IL को in phase और quadrature components में decompose करूँ, then I can have phasor diagram like this. मैं दोनों तरीके से आपको दिखाता हूँ कैसे करना है. This is phasor voltage, load bus voltage V. This is load current IL as at a phase angle phi L or phi. This is in phase component of current IR, load current, which represents the active power drawn by the load. And this is quadrature component of load current JIX, which represents the reactive power drawn by the load. Now, because of resistive or in phase component of load current IR, when it flows through RS, it causes resistive voltage drop, small resistive voltage drop. IR into RS, resistive voltage drop is small, because I have told you previously also, feeder resistance is very low, very small as compared to its reactance. So since feeder resistance is very small, so this resistive voltage drop will also be very small. Then in addition to resistive voltage drop, there will be reactive voltage drop through the system reactance. If this is IX, reactive component of the current, this IX, when it flows through the feeder reactance, it causes large feeder voltage drop, IX into XS. And this IX into XS is at 90 degrees to IX. Okay. So therefore IRRS plus IX into XS, it is in phase component of the voltage drop delta VR. Then you have delta Vx, which is IR, IR into XS. This is delta Vx. This is the voltage drop J delta Vx, I should write. The voltage drop or quadrature voltage drop. What is this? ये आपका डेल्टा V है, and delta V is delta VR plus J delta Vx, और ये आपका E है. This is E. E with respect to V is at a power angle delta. Again you can see E is greater than V or V is less than E, and power factor is very poor. This phasor diagram and this phasor diagram gives the same information. The difference between the two phasor diagrams is that this phasor diagram, in this phasor diagram, I have not decomposed your load current into in phase and quadrature component of current. In terms of load current itself, I have given various drops and E. But in this phasor diagram, I have decomposed your load current into in phase component IR and quadrature component JIX. And in terms of these in phase components and quadrature components of currents, various voltage drops are drawn, and you get E and V. V is already there, you get E. Okay, so this is without compensation. Without compensation, first case was with XS only, and second with both XS and RS. Now let us connect a compensator. Now it is time to connect the compensator. Now when you connect the shunt compensator, which may be a shunt capacitor bank, or it may be an active compensator like D-STATCOM. This is our compensator. It draws a current, compensator current I gamma. Now this compensator, you have to first of all define its role. Let us connect the compensator for power factor correction. to make power factor unity, that is reactive power compensation. Now second is with load compensation. With first one was without compensation, second is with compensation. With compensation, maybe let us first of all, what type of compensation? Say for power factor improvement. So for unity power factor operation, that is power factor correction. Let us suppose the role of compensator is to correct the power factor, और reactive power compensation भी इसे कहते हैं, reactive power compensation. It has to compensate for reactive power. That means whatever reactive power is demanded by the load, it should not be supplied by the source. It should be locally supplied by this compensator. So that will correct the power factor and make power factor unity. Let's see how. Here also, first of all, we will take with excess only, line reactance only. And later on, we will take excess and RS both. With excess only, this is load bus voltage V, okay, and this is load current IL. It has in-phase component IR and it has quadrature component JIX. What is the function of, or what is the job of compensator here? Its job, I gamma, should be equal to minus Ix. That means it should supply all the reactive component of current which is demanded by the load. Without compensator, IR as well as Ix, that is in phase, as well as quadrature component of currents come from the source. That means source supplies active power demand of the load as well as reactive power demand of the load. But in presence of compensator for reactive power compensation, only active component of power should come from the load, from the source. Reactive power requirement of the load should be fulfilled or supplied by the compensator. So therefore, how will compensator supply the reactive power demand of the load? If compensator current is minus Ix, Ix represents the reactive component of current which represents the reactive power. So whatever is the reactive power demand of the load, that should be supplied by the compensator. So therefore, अगर ये load की reactive power, reactive current है Ix, it should be supplied by the compensator. So I gamma, that is compensator current, should be equal and opposite to Ix. इससे क्या होगा? इससे ये होगा कि सोर्स से जो करंट आ रही थी प्रीवियसली विदाउट कंपनसेशन सोर्स करंट वाज सेम एज लोड करंट. अगर लोड करंट में IR कंपोनेंट था और JIX कंपोनेंट था, वो कंपोनेंट दोनों सोर्स से ही आ रहे थे. बट विद कंपनसेशन जो रिएक्टिव कंपोनेंट ऑफ करंट है दैट कम्स फ्रॉम द कंपनसेटर, source say source will give only resistive component of current IR. Okay, so I will write again from this. If you apply Kirchhoff's current law here, Is is equal to I gamma plus IL. You can see. So Is is equal to, what is I gamma? I gamma is minus JIX plus what is IL? IL is the load current which has in phase component IR plus quadrature components JIX. Now this is plus JIX, this is minus JIX. Therefore source current is equal to IR. Therefore source supplies only the in phase component of current. Therefore ये IR जो है ये source current होगी. Previously मैंने लिखा था IL is equal to IS in absence of compensator. Now but in presence of compensator for power factor correction, IR is equal to IS because source से खाली in phase component of current आ रहा है. ये reactive component of current जो है ये compensator से आ रहा है. Okay. Now since only a resistive component of current flows, it comes from the source IR. So therefore अभी थोड़ी देर पहले जो आपने देखा Ix into excess voltage drop जो था, which was a very large voltage drop, वो खत्म हो जाएगा because Ix is not coming from the source. तो feeder की reactance जो है excess, it will carry only IR. IR into excess drop खाली इसमें होगा. Ix into excess drop इसमें नहीं होगा because Ix is not coming from source. Ix of the load is coming from the compensator. So no Ix is coming from the source because You can see from the phasor diagram also. Therefore, Ix into excess demand, the voltage drop जो यहाँ था वो खत्म हो गया. So you have only one voltage drop, that is Is into Rs. Sorry, Is into excess or IR into excess. जो ये IR अगर ये है आपकी, so J IR into excess. So therefore आपकी E ये बन जाएगी. What happens to the power factor? Since only resistive component of current comes from the source, no reactive component comes from the source. So therefore, what is source power factor? Source power factor becomes unity. So you get UPF operation, unity power factor operation. No doubt in this case, E also becomes equal to V because resistance component of feeder हमने ignore किया. We have considered only reactance of the feeder. E is equal to V and simultaneously source power factor unity हो जाता है. Why? Because all the reactive power demand of the load is supplied by compensator. No reactive power comes from the source. Source current is equal to only resistive or in phase component of current. So that makes source power factor equal to 1. So that gives unity power factor operation. This is explained with the help of this phasor diagram with excess only. Let us take a more practical case, that is with excess and RS both. With both RS and excess, that is line is having resistance RS as well as reactance excess. Let us see. चलिए देखते हैं. ये आपकी voltage है V, load bus voltage. As usual, this is line current IL, and it is at a phase angle phi. It has in phase component IR, it has quadrature component JIX. Now this JIX is coming from compensator. I gamma is equal to minus JIX, all the reactive component of current or reactive power which is required by the load, that does not come from source, that comes from compensator. So therefore compensator, you know, I gamma is equal to minus Ix. So source से खाली IR आ रही है. But source resistance we are not neglecting now, because we are not neglecting source resistance. And this IR flows through source resistance. It causes IR into RS drop. IR into RS drop, which is in phase with the current. Current IR है और drop छोटा सा drop होगा. ये वाला drop. ये है IR into RS drop. It is in phase with the current. This is a resistive voltage drop. उसके बाद reactive voltage drop होगा IR into JXS. IX into XS नहीं होगा क्योंकि IX source से नहीं आ रही है, वो compensator locally supply कर रहा है. So you will have this JIR into XS. Okay? और ये आपका delta V होगा इस केस में. This is your delta V. And this is E. E leads V by delta. Now in this case you can see E is greater than V, slightly greater than V, not much, ज़्यादा बड़ा नहीं है, और V is slightly less than E. So you don't get zero voltage regulation. Practical case में voltage regulation is less than 1. Voltage regulation is, it is greater than 0. It is not 0 because V is less than E, but it is very close to E. Because it is less than E because of this resistive voltage drop IR into RS. But what about source power factor? Source power factor is unity because only resistive component of current is coming from the source. IR source current is same as IR since source supplies only resistive component of current. So source power factor is 1.0 unity. So you get unity power factor. You have UPF operation. Okay. So this explains, role of compensator as a power factor corrector or as a for reactive power compensation. This shows how you get unity power factor. Okay. Now let us assume the compensator role is now changed. Suppose compensator is used for zero voltage regulation, that is as a voltage regulator. It's not used as a power factor corrector, it is used as a voltage regulator. As a voltage regulator, I gamma will not be equal to Ix. I gamma, that is, compensator will fulfill all the reactive power demand of load, and it will also inject some reactive component of current into the source, some reactive power into the source, so that source current becomes leading in nature. Source power factor is leading, because for voltage regulation, zero voltage regulation, we already know that source current must lead the voltage. Is must lead voltage E by certain phase angle. So power factor should be unity. Okay. So again, we will take, first of all, take with excess only. With XS, that is source reactance only. With source reactance, let me draw the phasor diagram. So this is load bus voltage V. This is load current IL at a power factor angle phi. This is in phase component of current IR. This is quadrature component of current JIX. Right? Now, I am ignoring RS. I am taking only IX. Okay? Since I am taking only IX, so I will have JIR into XS. Let us assume that all the reactive power demand of the load is supplied by the compensator. No reactive power comes from source. That's in this case also I gamma is equal to minus JIX. This is I gamma equal to minus JIX with reactance only. So only IR component comes from the source, and that IR component, when it flows through the reactance, it causes reactive voltage drop JIR excess, and this is your E. E leads V by delta, and you can see E is nearly equal to V, or V is equal to E. So when V is equal to E, what is voltage drop? Delta V. Delta V is E minus V, it is equal to 0, and percentage voltage regulation is delta V by V. Since delta V is 0, so voltage regulation is 0, so you get 0 voltage regulation. This is explained by this phasor diagram with excess only. But practically we don't have excess only, we have along with excess we have RS also, source feeder or source line has resistance also. So I will show you the phasor diagram with both RS, that is source resistance or feeder resistance, and reactance, with both RS and XS. Let me draw the phasor diagram. This is V, right? This is load current IL lagging behind load voltage V by phi. As usual, this is in phase component of current IR, and this is quadrature component of load current JIX, and this will be our compensator current. Now in this case, compensator current will not be equal to minus IX. Compensator current may be greater than JIX, because it will compensate all the reactive power demand of load, and some reactive power it will inject on the source side also to make source current lead the voltage by certain phase angle. Okay, so compensator current आपकी ये होगी, say this is your compensator current I gamma, which is greater than IX, JIX. Okay, so because of this there will be it will result in the flow of source current. IS ये आपकी source current है, and this source current is phasor sum of I gamma and IL. ये है ना source current, it is I gamma plus IL. Source current is phasor sum of I gamma and IL load current. Okay, so यहाँ phasor diagram पे ऐसे दिखा सकते हैं आप, if this is I gamma and this is IL, ये आप complete कर लीजिए, so this is IS. So IS is phasor sum of I gamma and IL, right? तो अगर ये आपकी IS है, IS leads the voltage now, it does not lag. We are not at unity power factor now, we are at leading power factor now. Since IS leads the voltage, this IS is flowing through, when it flows through the feeder resistance, it causes IS into RS drop, which is in phase with IS. क्योंकि resistance में जो voltage होती है वो होती है in phase with current. This IS RS drop is caused by current IS when it flows through the resistance part of the impedance. This is IS. When it flows through RS, it causes IS RS drop, and that IS RS drop will be in phase with IS. तो अगर आपकी IS ये है तो इन फेज आप ऐसे दिखा सकते हैं, दिस इज IS into RS voltage drop, राइट. तो आपकी जो E होगी, your E will be somewhere here and E will be exactly equal to V. If this is IS RS drop, there will be another voltage drop. देखिए IS जब RS के थ्रू फ्लो हुई, it caused IS RS drop. Now this has reactance also, line has reactance also, J axis. जब ये IS J axis के थ्रू फ्लो होती है तो it causes a reactive voltage drop, JIS into XS, which is at 90 degrees to IS, क्योंकि अब ये reactive voltage drop है और इंडक्टेंस में voltage drop and current 90 degrees पे होती है. So therefore, where will be your JIS? This will be JIS into XS. It is at 90 degrees to current. ये अगर आपकी current है, ये भी current आप, because this is parallel to this. So this angle is 90 degrees. So this voltage drop, reactive voltage drop, is at 90 degrees to the current. So therefore, this is your E. What is E? E is V plus ISRS plus JISXS. So this is V, this is ISRS, JISXS, and this is E. E leads V by delta, and you can see IS leads E by phase angle phi S. ये source voltage है E, और यहाँ source current IS है. IS is not in phase with E, it is leading E by certain phase angle phi S. So since current is leading voltage, so you have a leading source power factor. Load power factor तो lagging है, but source power factor leading है. And that makes E equal to V, and that makes V equal to E, and that gives you zero voltage regulation. So therefore zero voltage regulation के लिए प्रॉब्लम यह है कि अगर कंट्रोलर सोर्स करंट को लीडिंग नहीं रखेगा, यूनिटी पे ही रखेगा, जैसे प्रीवियस केस में रखा था यूनिटी पावर फैक्टर ऑपरेशन में, तो आपकी जो अगर ये V है तो ISRS ड्रॉप यहाँ आ जाएगी, तो आपकी E जो है वो स्लाइटली ग्रेटर देन E आ जाएगी फॉर यूनिटी पावर फैक्टर ऑपरेशन. नो डाउट IS will be equal to IR, you will get unity power factor, but this drop, that's voltage drop through resistive part of the impedance, will cause E to be slightly greater than E. So if you want E exactly to be equal to V, then the source current should not be at unity power factor, it should be at leading power factor. In other words, जो आपका ये है, ये delta V vector, ये unity power factor के लिए ऐसे inclined. To make E equal to V, this E exactly equal to V, this delta V vector has to rotate, and it has become like this. तो previously आपका delta V vector ऐसे था ना, ये आपका delta V vector है, ये अब ऐसे है, and it makes E equal to V. How was it made possible? It was made possible only when source current, that's current flow drawn from the source, is at leading power factor. So this is how this phasor diagram clearly shows how we can use the compensator as a voltage regulator for achieving zero voltage regulation, ZVR. But if you have a choice, if you have to make a choice, you have a compensator, say D-STATCOM. You have to either use it for reactive power compensation, that is power factor correction, unity power factor operation, or as a voltage regulator for achieving zero voltage regulation. In my in my opinion, we should use it as a power factor corrector for unity power factor operation, because for unity power factor operation the compensator has to compensate only load reactive power, तो इसकी रेटिंग कम होगी और सोर्स पावर फैक्टर यूनिटी होगा, दैट मीन्स सोर्स से कोई भी रिएक्टिव पावर नहीं आएगा, उससे लाइन लॉसेस कम हो जाएंगी, उससे MVA रेटिंग, ट्रांसफार्मर, जनरेटर, ट्रांसमिशन लाइंस, उनकी भी कम हो जाएगी, वोल्टेज ड्रॉप्स कम हो जाएंगे, एंड नो डाउट you will get V less than E, but V will be very very close to E. That means if E is 10 kV, you may get V 9.97 kV. Just an example. So isn't it very close to this? तो अगर आपकी voltage regulation 2% या 3% भी आती है, that is acceptable. A voltage regulation of up to 5% is acceptable as per IEEE standards. No problem. On the other hand, अगर आप इस compensator को D-STATCOM को 0 volt as a voltage regulator use करते हैं, if you use it for 0 voltage regulation ZVR mode, then this compensator rating will be higher because it has to compensate all the load reactive power, and simultaneously it will inject some reactive power into the source so that the source current becomes leading. It leads the voltage by certain phase angle, and then you will get 0 voltage regulation. Okay, so it is better to use it as a power factor corrector for unity power factor operation. That will have two advantages, rather three advantages. Number one, the rating of the compensator will be less because compensator will compensate only load reactive power. It doesn't have to make source current leading. Source current will be at unity power factor. Second advantage is that source power factor will be unity, so no reactive power will come from source, and that will give third advantage. That is, since no reactive power is coming from the source, the MVA rating of generator, transformer, transmission line, all AC equipments on the far end, their MVA ratings you don't need to increase because they are not supposed to supply any reactive power demand of the load. Okay, so this is what we have been discussing over last 3 to 4 lectures, and in today's lecture we discuss some practical aspects of compensator. We have seen that with finite gain it never compensates 100% load reactive power. It may compensate say 70 to 80% of load reactive power, but that is also acceptable, no problem. So this is this was about fundamental theory of load compensation. You can use a shunt capacitor bank or a D-STATCOM as a load compensator, either for power factor correction or reactive power compensation, that is for giving unity power factor operation, or as a voltage regulator for giving 0 voltage regulation. Okay, so with this I will end my today's lecture. I advise all of you to go through all these lectures, revise them, try to clear your concepts, draw these phasor diagrams for all cases without compensation and with compensation. With compensation may be for power factor correction as well as for 0 voltage regulation, and try to enhance your knowledge with mathematical analysis also, because whatever mathematical analysis we have done over last few lectures, that it is because of that mathematical analysis that we have been able to draw these phasor diagrams, solve some numerical problems. Try to solve those numerical problems again, and they will really enhance your knowledge and make concepts very clear. In case of any doubts, any clarifications, if you need, you are most welcome. You can call me, you can get connected to me via Google Classroom, through WhatsApp group. You can drop me personal messages regarding your doubts on my cell phone number. I will be pleased to reply your queries, clear your doubts. I advise all of you to go through these lectures and try to understand the concepts, gain the knowledge. In case of any doubts, please feel free to ask me. Wish you all the best. Thank you.